Do we have a winner from Pixar? What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and welcome back to another video. So today I've got my review of Inside Out 2, the latest Pixar film. It hits theaters this Friday and I was able to see it early, so this is my honest review of the movie. Before I dive into this though, be sure to hit that like button, it helps out more than you guys know, and comment down below your expectations or predictions on the film, or your thoughts if you've seen it as of watching this video. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. And if you guys want to watch movies and shows with me, as well as gain access to exclusive live Q&As and reaction videos, you can do so on my Patreon. In fact, my commentary track for the original Inside Out is out right now. You guys can sync up and watch that movie with me. But I'm also watching The Acolyte and doing a reaction series, and I've got an exclusive live Q&A tonight. So consider joining the Film Stock Patreon community. Your support over there truly does mean the world. So when it comes to the original Inside Out, that's a top 10 Pixar movie to me. I rewatched it yesterday, and truly it's cemented as one of the best original concepts Pixar's ever put out. It might just be, in terms of concepts, their best work. So rolling into the sequel, I just wanted it to be remotely as good as that first Inside Out, and wanted it to be a real winner for Pixar, because their recent films haven't really clicked for me. The last one I truly loved is Onward. Fully aware that's a hot take. I know a lot of people think that one's mediocre. I adore it. That's their last true home run hitter for me. So going into this, I just wanted it to be classic Pixar, and I'm so happy to report that's exactly what it is. This has all the magic, all the charm of classic Pixar, and damn does it feel good to say that. Inside Out 2 is set a few years after the first film, when Riley is starting to hit puberty, so a whole new set of emotions is introduced, and they really go mature with this film, which I appreciated. I watched the first Inside Out film in theaters in 2015 when I was like 15, 16 years old, and so I was able to appreciate the story it told there, but years later, almost 10 years later, a whole new set of emotions has been introduced, and I almost feel like this sequel grew up with the audience. If you watch the Toy Story films when they came out or at different stages in your life, they present a different set of issues that you can apply to whatever stage of life you're in. For the third film, the people who watched the original Toy Story were getting ready to go off to college or start a new chapter of life, and that is applicable to this movie. In the first film, like I said, a little more small scale, simpler emotions. Here, we're introducing anxiety, envy, embarrassment. In fact, at times, the story got a little too personal for me, too relatable for me, as I myself can get really anxious at times and let it consume my every thought. In fact, Hawke actually voices anxiety. Shout out Robin from Stranger Things. But she crushes it. She's probably the standout voice acting performance here, as she plays this wound up character who is a control freak in a way and just wants to control every aspect of Riley and reshape who Riley is as she goes into her teenage years. Not for the better. In fact, this movie has a lot to say about how anxiety can really weigh someone down, and unfortunately I think we all can relate to that at times. We let anxiety or nervous thoughts get the better of us when it's really not necessary. Well, this movie does a good job of showing that sometimes you gotta let the other emotions take over and realize you're anxious for no reason, man. In fact, Inside Out 2 possesses a really compelling message about identity and how everyone has different backgrounds and different complex emotions that make them who they are. But at the end of the day, everyone's special in their own unique way, and people should learn to embrace the things that they love and even hate or dislike about themselves, because it's what makes them who they are. A staple of Pixar storytelling is providing a timeless story that can appeal to people from all generations, all ages, for years to come. So Inside Out 2 comes out in 2024. Someone could watch this movie 30 years from now and still relate to it, as it, you know, depicts a universal struggle. In this case, that's puberty. Everyone in the world grows up and goes through transformations as they reach their teenage years. Like, we all can relate to how scary it is transitioning from middle school to high school. There can often be a desire to fit in or impress people, or maybe overthink every little thing you say or do just to make sure you seem normal. But ultimately, Inside Out 2 teaches us to be comfortable and confident in who we are, especially for those watching in their teenage years. This movie almost acts as a reminder that, hey, everything's going to be alright. Stay true to who you are and you can't lose. And when it comes to the humor, it really worked for me. Anger and fear were two characters who constantly got great laughs out of me. Though I will admit, I'm one of the few people who probably is actually bothered by this, but Bill Hader's presence was missing. Mindy Kaling also didn't return to voice Disgust. So I was like, man, I wish they got those voice actors back for continuity's sake, but it's really not that big of a deal. Also, anger is me at times, especially when I'm driving on the highway. Oh man. So of course we got Maya Hawke's anxiety, who's trying to rewire Riley's brain and sense of self. We also got envy, who's one of the new emotions, voiced by Edebiri from The Bear. And she really did a great job showing the side of teenagers where they see a shiny new object and they're like, oh, I need to have that, or I need to be like this person, or I gotta change to impress this person. Again, this movie tackles lots of issues that are universal as people grew up in their teenage years and were envious of something that someone else wore to school that day, or were anxious about having a social interaction, or even embarrassed that they said something stupid. And when it boils down to it, Inside Out 2 is super sweet and heartfelt. Yet another classic trait of a great Pixar film. The main plot of this film follows Riley going off to hockey camp and trying to fit in with a new crowd while sort of letting her best friends take a bit of a back seat in her life. So it's a bit of a roller coaster of a journey for her when it comes to the emotion she experiences. She's changing and trying to fit in, but also misses her friends at the same time. And like I mentioned, Riley is getting older in this film, going into her teenage years. And so with age comes the scary realization that not everything is as joyous as it once was when you're a kid. When we're all, under the age of 10 running around, we're all carefree, everything is awesome, and there's really no worries in the world. But as you get older and get into, the high school years, then college, and become a real grown-up adult in the world, things are scary, life is tough, and not every day is filled with joy. So it can become very easy to lose that spark of excitement or passion for the little things. As the older you get, society just wants you to settle for the mundane and not appreciate everything in life. Well, Inside Out 2 reminds you, hey, never lose that joy deep down inside you that makes life worth living. Structurally speaking, the movie was really well paced, and I have to tip my hat to both this sequel and the original Inside Out for flying by. This is the pace that a kid's movie should have. It's about an hour and a half long, moves really quickly, there's no time wasted, and in a day and age where attention spans are constantly getting shorter and shorter, it's really smart of Pixar to put out a compelling hour and a half long film that's going to appeal to the younger generation of kids who are going to see this, but also to families and more so adults. There's a real important message here for adults who are raising teenage kids, for parents, for adults who they themselves might have lost a bit of that spark that drove them forward when they were younger. There's something for everyone in this movie, which yet again is a testament to that universal appeal of a great Pixar film. I'll never fail to be impressed by both Inside Out movies' ability to convey all these complex emotions inside of Riley's head, while simultaneously showing her actions in the real world. We transition from scenes inside of her brain to what Riley, the character, is actually acting out, and it's seamless. I'll also always be impressed by how Pixar continues to innovate when it comes to the technical animation of their films. I watched Inside Out the morning of, and I watched Inside Out 2 that night, and just in the span of 9 years, there have been some drastic advancements in animation. Like, you'll be able to see characters glistening and dripping in sweat after skating on the ice. There are some gorgeous shots in new locations inside of Riley's mind that have this like luminescent glow to them that almost look like pure artwork that should be hanging on a wall. Genuinely, Pixar knocked it out of the park with the animation here. This is a very worthy follow-up to the original. It's impressive how Pixar was able to retain a lot of the key elements of the first Inside Out film, but also expand on this world, make Riley a more complex character emotionally as she's going through this new phase of change in her life. That is puberty, a universal experience. All in all, Pixar returns to form with this sequel. It's both clever and charming, heartwarming and funny. It's truly an emotionally moving watch, and it brings me nothing but joy to report that Pixar is back. But those are just my honest thoughts on Inside Out 2. Let me know yours in the comments down below and hit that like button. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. And if you guys want access to tons of exclusive content like live Q&As, reaction videos, or commentary tracks, you can join my Patreon link down below. Your support over there truly does mean the world. Got lots of content coming out lately and into the summer, lots of fun things planned. So consider joining the Filmstock Patreon today. Your support truly does mean more than you'll ever know. But that'll do it. Thank you guys as always, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.